Well, hello and welcome to another Daily Dominion. It is Thursday, so we have two expansions mixed together. Today it is Hinterlands with a bunch of cards over here and Plunder with also, I see, 3 Plunder cards and 2 Plunder events. Yeah, a fruitful combination of expansions. And yeah, let's drop right into it and look at what this kingdom has to offer for us. Let me hide my camera so you can, in principle, read. I will show you the events in a sec. Yeah, we have a bunch of blue cards, reaction cards. Guard Dog you can play if the opponent plays an attack, but that won't happen here as there is no attack. And Weaver you can play if you discard it. And yeah, In is a nice card for discarding cards, so there is a synergy here with In and Weaver. And also, Weavers can gain you cards costing up to 4, and Highway can reduce the cost of cards by 1 every time you play a Highway. So in principle, if you get to get 4 Highways played in a turn and then play a Weaver, because provinces will only cost 4, you can just weave for provinces. So that's a powerful combination. Guard Dog also profits off of having a small hand size. So if you manage to play an at the beginning of your turn, and then your next Guard Dog will draw you 4 cards, that's also a nice synergy. Scheme can top deck cards for reliability. Maroon can thin, and so can Spice Merchant. Maroon is terminal thinning, while Spice Merchant is non-terminal, but Spice Merchant can not trash the estate, so I think for the opening you rather go for Maroon. Mining Road is also neither here nor there. It gives you plus buy, it reduces your hand size, which might be good for Guard Dog, but and it gives you plus buy, but I'm not sure we're going to play with it. We could also do some weird Fool's Gold money rush. Fool's Gold is a powerful treasure if you can thin your deck reliably, and you can do this here, and especially with Mining Road, you might be able to do some good Fool's Gold stuff. I think the Weaver Highway thing is a bit faster. I have to confess, I've already played this kingdom on the train this morning, so I went through it once. It was a good playthrough. Anyways, now let's cover the events. We have Deliver here. When you buy it for 2, you get the buy back. And then each time you gain a card this turn, you set it aside and put it into your hand at the end of turn. So super powerful stuff. Because if you buy Deliver and you have, I don't know, you buy 2 highways afterwards, you will start your next hand with 7 cards, and 2 of them being the highways you just acquired. This, of course, anti-synergizes a bit with Guard Dog drawing you a few cards. I think you sometimes have to assess what you want to do more. If you have ins, when you gain them, you can reveal them and shuffle them in. That's also a nice effect here. So yeah, we might not deliver that much, but situationally, especially in the early game, it might be really, really powerful. Journey is another really, really powerful event. I'm not sure which one of those is more powerful, Deliver or Journey. I think in the end, Journey might have the edge, but both are just crazy. Because Journey allows you for 4 money essentially to have a second turn for 4 money and the buy. It doesn't give you the buy back, in which all of your cards stay in play. So in the very beginning, it doesn't matter that much. But for example, if there would be a 3-cost treasure, then we might consider journeying on turn 2 here. But we obviously don't. Obviously, there is no 3-cost treasure here. There's only Maroon and Spice Merchant. So yeah. So I already in the discussion I talked about the synergies. So what are we going to try to do here? The kingdom plot looks as follows. It tells us there is little draw and village. I mean, the village we have here in is naturally hand size decreasing, so usually it's hard to get drawing with it. and so is Guard Dog. But together they might actually enable some more or less decent drawing, and especially within making use of the discard with Weaver, I think this is a very viable deck here, which is interesting. Like you rarely have such powerful kingdoms where the kingdom plot looks so meek and weak. I don't know. Yeah. So we're going for this in Weaver guard dog stuff. It's going to be a bit hard to set up, so we need to thin down really aggressively. Journey and Deliver might help with that, and we will go for a Maroon and also I think for a Spice Merchant to go along with it, just to get all of the starting stuff out of our deck, and then we can do Weaver and In and Highway stuff. Probably we will get a single Highway first, then put in the Weaver and In, and slowly try to build up the game train, because as soon as it is going, it should be really good, but until then it might be a bit awkward to set up, especially while you're struggling to thin your deck. So I'm noticing I'm rambling, so let's get to the opening stuff, to the opening hints. I think 4-3 is fairly decent here, especially with Journey. Um, unless you hit 2 or 3 on your turn 3, you're really good. If you hit 3 on your turn 3, I think you just buy a scheme and then see what you can do on turn 4. But if you hit 4 and don't see the Maroon on turn 3, you just Journey and are happy to trash on the extended turn 3. And yeah, if you hit 6 somehow, you can even deliver a Spice Merchant early on. The silver is really good, and that's also why I think the 5-2 is a bit worse here. One could think about pivoting to another strategy of a thicker deck with Mining Road and Fool's Golds, which you then also thin with Maroon and Spice Merchant, but yeah, go for that kind of payload. I still believe that just opening Maroon is the better choice in that case, but it's not as clear to me. So I don't know. Happy we don't have the 5-2 here. And yeah, let's start this one. Just go for AI goes for Fool's Gold, interesting. Go for Silver Maroon. And this, of course, is not great because we would love to trash the estates with the Maroon instead of the coppers. But what can we do? We hit 5 here, and now next turn we'll have 1 copper, 1 silver, and 3 estates in there, which is really bad. So we could shuffle an in, which would trigger the shuffle, but that will also separate the Maroon again from the estates unless we draw the Maroon right there. So that's kind of bad as well. We could I mean, same thing will happen. But we could deliver a scheme here and then still trigger the next shuffle. I think I like it more than delivering it in. And then maybe, and yeah, we will hit 4 for Journey at least, and then we can Journey. Yeah, at this point, this might be a bit better than in, although in might also be fine. I don't know. Yeah, let's Journey here. Oh no, we do draw the Maroon, which is great, and that means that now here at this point we can put in the Spice Merchant, I guess. Mm, yeah, I think what if we put in the Spice Merchant, what we can do here as well? No, we can't because we have a chance of not hitting 5. I was about to say we could just Journey here, but there are only 3 coppers here, and if we shuffle the 2 estates in again, then we cannot. Man, those are tricky decisions, and I'm not entirely sure as to which route to take, to be honest. I could also think about getting a Weaver, but that has a nasty terminal collision. Mm, or even a Highway just at this point. All of these 4 cards look really enticing. And so we are going to top deck the maroon next turn. Maybe we just want to get cycling with the inn. Yeah, let's put an inn in, top deck the maroon, and we will hopefully find one of the estates. Okay, we do. And yeah, I like this play. Now here we can put in I think we skipped the spice merchant at this point, even though it would be great to have. Should this be a highway or a weaver? The problem about a weaver now is that we might struggle to hit 5 again, and then yeah, but I think we need to go for this weaver and just top deck the inn here. Let's hope we hit 5 somehow. We can hit 5 if we just discard this stuff. I think we do need to go for it. Although the next turn we have Weaver and some nasty stuff in there. This is really not going as well as my first playthrough did. But yeah, it's all like these early draws are super tricky to navigate, in my opinion. Maybe we should just get in there and trash out one more copper at this point. And we do hit 4 here only, and in that case we do pick up the spice merchant, I think, because that can also in principle hit a price point for us. Now, which cards are left there? There's a copper and a estate, and we've discarded 2 coppers and the spice merchant. So if we journey now, we would just hit 4 again, which I think we're happy about. So let's journey here, trash copper, and but yeah, as I said, it's a bit tricky now for us to hit 5 for this highway. So I'm considering either gaining a silver, buying a silver, or another weaver, and just hope we have decent draws with the inn. But that could no. Let's go for the silver. Also with journey and all this stuff, it's a bit safer. And yeah, this hand, if that had been a weaver, would have been really sad. It might still be sad. But no, we do find the inn. And that's actually really good. Those last 2 cards are coppers. So yeah, now I think we're at a good point. And I would also like to put in another inn. Just, yeah, because we would really like to kick off our turns with this in Weaver stuff, but so far it's not possible. But we are getting really thin, and we do have that highway in deck now, which will allow us to gain more highways using the Weavers, which at this point I don't think we need to even do. So here we just discard those Weavers, play them for maybe Weaver Highway. No, actually Weaver in. Shuffle them in. Actually just shuffle the in. And okay, we'll draw it here and we'll be able to play one more Weaver for yet another Weaver in combo. Yeah, I like this. Now this allows us to buy an in here, put those 2 in, and top deck a highway, I guess, or another weaver. What we really need to do now is also put in some guard dogs, some draw, and maybe a mining road along the way, but we are moving along much nicer now. Now, what does this want to be? Weaver or highway? Let's just guarantee that we discard 2 weavers here. That's fine. Still at this point, we can gain a guard dog weaver combo. And we do need to gain 2 more highways and also find those highways early on. soon-ish, but yeah. Okay, this is a bit nasty. We could think about stopping here, but that's not super enticing because we don't have any. We could play the two weavers to gain more weavers. And then these last four cards contain silver, highway, highway, inn. No, even two inns. So it would be a powerful next turn though, without much. Yeah, do we stop here or do we draw on? Yeah, I think we just stop here actually. Gain two more weavers. And we could deliver something, but I don't think it's worth much. But, no, there's the scheme. I thought this was a weaver. And I also thought we had a second highway. Man, this is pretty bad then. But we can get highways here. And yeah, maybe I should kill one of the silvers in order to just draw a bit more, see a bit further. Can gain more highway here. So now we have 4. We can gain more in because we need it, I think. And shuffle it in. Yeah, these highways, I think they are of no consequence. So yes, get there. And now, yeah, just gain more weaver in stuff. Play this highway, draw up. Yeah, we could even start gaining provinces here, but we can only gain 3 at this point, which I don't think we want. So let's just discard those for Weaver Highway, I guess. Because if we play 2 more highways, we can deliver a lot of good things. We need to be cognizant of piles a bit, with AI being where it is. So I guess this is not happening. This could be then a mining road, just like this. And no, but then we don't want to gain this last weaver. We just want to gain guard dog mining road, I guess, and ensure that we draw here. Nice, we've top decked a guard dog, and yeah, this could gain us a province at this point, or yeah, we could set up the next turn somewhat with an inn here. Now, I think we want to kill the silver in order to have one more buy and deliver now in Weaver and then one more guard dog, I guess. Yeah, we have enough stuff. So can top deck another inn, I guess. Now we have 2 inns there already. But we will need to reduce our hand size, so I like getting that in there. Maybe it should have been a highway, actually. Yeah, probably it should have been a highway. But okay. Now we just gain, I guess, random stuff. Yeah, this was really bad. Here we do find those highways, which can gain us duchies at this point. And we, of course, hope to find more highway. Now, this spice merchant doesn't have any use anymore, so we can just get rid of it like that. And soon enough, yeah, we should find the last highway. And now we can discard those weavers for provinces. Actually, I think we're 1 weaver short here, which is entirely my fault. right? Uh, yeah, I guess I did not consider that. What we will be able to do is we will be able to buy two things here. Yeah, no, then my play there was a mistake. I should have um, gained 2 silvers of one of the Weaver gains. Because now, yeah, we can only double duchy here and essentially have to wait it out. But I think we're far enough ahead in points for the AI not to catch up. Yeah, this was not my cleanest playthrough, I'd say. I'm not sure about the liver we also had there, and yeah, maybe I discarded one too many weavers, but I mean for the duchies. But yeah, let's see. Hopefully this will work out. Anyways, no, it probably won't. We still need to tag along with more annoying stuff. Let's just top deck highways for us to be able to find them. But yeah, no, AI just finishes it here and sees no point out. Yeah, 12 turns. Last time I played, it took me just 10 turns. I just had a much better early game and much smoother draws there. And also here, I wouldn't be all too sure about how I navigated the early game. Yeah, but it's certainly a very interesting board. The way in Highway Weaver and Guard Dog interact is super nice. This mining road could also be debatable, and also our decision point where we deliberated trashing one of the weavers to maroon. There, I'm also not sure that, or actually, I think playing the two weavers there was incorrect. We should have just marooned one of them and kept our turn going for a nicer, faster acceleration. But yeah, then there I also misjudged what I had left in my deck, I think, with the one highway instead of two and all that stuff. Anyways, I'm rambling. I hope you enjoyed this video anyways, and I will try to catch you in the next one. And until then, goodbye.